Something a little bit different for today's video. It is another C2 video, C2 level vocabulary today that we're looking at, but slightly different. We're looking at a specific topic. Here we're looking at change. So first of all, we're going to have a look at a lot of verbs to do with change, and then we're going to have a look at some expressions. I haven't checked the answers, so forgive me for any mistakes that I make, but well, hopefully that will help you not make the same errors in future. What we've got here is, as I said, a box with several verbs that all kind of mean change. Now, they all signify some kind of change, but we would use one or the other depending on the context, right? So, and we have to put the correct form of the verb in the sentences, and there may be more than one correct answer. So fairly complicated. So how am I going to do this? I think what I'm going to do is look at the ones that I think are obvious first, and then kind of by process of elimination get the correct answers. So number one, or A, the good thing about children is that they, I think this one's fairly easy, I think this one has to be adapt, is that they adapt easily. Yeah, is that they adapt easily to new environments. Yeah, we don't even have to change the form there, and I don't think there's any other option there that would work. No. So let's go with letter B. I took the coat back to the shop to have it alter looks pretty good. To have it altered, obviously we have to change the form. Amended, converted, developed, evolved, fluctuated, metamorphosed, modified, mutated, revised. I'm pretty sure it has to be altered. Yeah, I took the coat back to the shop to have it altered. Okay, so the first two fairly simple, in my opinion. Okay, in C, it says, in line 20, men should be, to people. In line 20, men should be, to people. Now, when we're talking about a document, which is, I think what they're doing here, they've got it in inverted commas. No, it's saying, they're saying, I think we should manipulate this document in some way, change it. So I've got to say, I think amended looks pretty good. In line 20, men should be amended to people, maybe. Converted, no. Developed, no. Evolved, no. Fluctuated, no. Metamorphosed, no. Modified to, no. I don't think so. Mutated, revised to, transformed to. I think it has to be amended. Amended, I think. Well, I'm going to put a point next to amended. I think it has to be amended. I can't see any other that really works. And maybe modified to people? No, it's not modified, because it's not like you're making a small change and keeping it the same word. It's not like you're altering the word, no. No, I think it has to be amended, yeah. Okay, D. The design proposals were unpopular and only accepted in a, well, it can't be anything that begins with a vowel sound, so that's useful because we've got the article a there. So in a converted form, don't think that sounds right. In a developed form, don't think that sounds right. Evolved, no. Fluctuated, metamorphosed, modified, maybe. Mutated, no. Revised. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Transformed, no. Modified again, maybe. Modify, I feel like that's going to be one that could go with several options. I think the best thing here to say, I'm going to put a point next to revised, because I'm pretty sure it's revised. In line 20, the design proposals were unpopular and only accepted in a revised form. So they took it back, they reviewed it, they revised it, and then put it forward again for appraisal, and only then was it accepted. So I think it would be a revised form. So far, so murky. E. These bacteria, okay, I think this one's easy. These bacteria have, yeah, I think it's going to have to be mutated into forms that are resistant to certain drugs. That's just what the word that we use when we talk about bacteria and viruses when they adapt to their surroundings. No. We say that they have mutated, no, when there is a genetic mutation. These bacteria have, yeah, I'm pretty certain about that, have mutated into forms that are resistant to certain drugs. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we can eliminate mutated. Okay, F. The reorganisation will the British entertainment industry will totally amend? No. Convert? No. Develop? No. Evolve? No. Fluctuate? Metamorphose? I don't think metamorphose can be a transitive verb. Modify? Totally modify? Modify is not a strong verb. I think you can totally modify something. Totally mutate, totally revise, totally transform, I think is the only option. So this is getting confusing because well, yeah, I think it has to be totally transform, totally alter, totally adapt, totally mutate, the options that we've used already, totally amend, totally revise. And I think the only option there is transform. We'll totally transform the British entertainment industry. The awkward boy I knew had into a tall, handsome man. Had adapted, altered, amended, converted, developed. Maybe developed into. That's possible. I think developed is possible. Had developed into a tall, handsome man. Had evolved. No, not really. Had fluctuated. Had metamorphosed. Well, I guess if you're being very sort of poetic about it, like a caterpillar metamorphosing into a butterfly or a moth, I suppose. So maybe had metamorphosed into a tall, handsome man. Let's put a point there. I guess it's possible. They live and modified and mutated, revised, transformed. Maybe even transformed is possible. I think I would say developed. Had developed into a tall, handsome man. Well, I'm not sure yet. I'm going to go back and look at some of them. They live in a windmill. They live in a, yeah, this one's clear. This one's a converted windmill. They live in a converted, we talk about converted farmhouse, a converted barn where people live. It's just the word that we use when a building has had its, has been converted so that it can be given a new use, a new purpose. Yeah, we say converted, so that one's clear. How do we know humans evolved from apes? That one's clear. No, that one has to be evolved. How do we know that humans evolved from apes? Yeah. Vegetable prices, according to the season, they change, they vary, they go up and down, they fluctuate according to the season. That one's clear. The bank manager forced them to their sales forecasts 3 times. So I think the bank manager forced them to, I guess you could say revise. I guess you could say modify. Maybe you could even say amend. But in C, you can't say revised or modified, I don't think. So I think amended, I'm going to definitely cross that off. I'm going to say that is C. So what do we want here in K? The bank manager forced them to, what a strong verb. Force them to, yeah, I guess force them to modify. because we're still doubting as to whether the revised form, no, in a revised form, in a modified form. Maybe modify and revise are kind of similar. Force them to revise their sales forecasts 3 times. No, I'm gonna say modify there. I'm gonna say revised in D. It just sounds more correct. I think a revised form. We talk about that when there's a proposal and then it's rejected, and then there's a revised form. I think that just sounds right to me. And force them to modify their forecasts, yeah, to say that they're going to be better or say that they're going to be worse. We're not sure which, but to modify them, yeah, to change them in some way, to tweak them. Another change verb there. And L, what started out as a short story eventually, yeah, I guess developed into a full-scale novel or metamorphosed into a full-scale novel. I'm pretty sure that that G and L are kind of interchangeable, that we could say metamorphosed or developed in both. Let's check the answers and find out, and then we're going to look at some expressions to do with change, some common expressions. But let's find the answers to this exercise first. Let's assess the damage then and see where I went wrong. So in A, adapt. Adapt is the correct answer. Good. Okay, good start. Altered. Altered. C, it says amended or altered. Should be altered to people. Okay. Yeah, fair enough. I can understand that. D, modified. In a modified form. I think revised form is okay. I wonder if anyone can tell me why that wouldn't be right. I'm pretty sure you can say a revised form. But anyway, yeah, modified I think was one of the options that I said might work there. I think modify would work in a few different, in a few of the sentences there. But anyway, I can't really see why that's wrong, a revised form. Pretty sure we say that. But anyway, E, these bacteria mutated, yeah, mutated, absolutely. It says also developed in 2 forms. Yeah, I think mutated just sounds better when we're talking about bacteria. F, transform. G, metamorphosed or developed, which I think is what we said. No, that both of those would be correct there. H, converted. I, evolved. J, fluctuate. K, bit different. It says revise their sales forecast. Yeah, revise, alter, amend, modify. Yeah, I guess they would all be more or less right now, because it's not really clear how they're going to change their sales forecast. It's a bit vague, so yeah, I guess all of those would work. And the last one, it says evolved, metamorphosed, or developed. Notice that it doesn't say that the boy evolved into a tall, handsome man. No, because that wouldn't quite sound correct, would it? Because obviously, with a story turning into a full-scale novel, we're being figurative when we say metamorphosed or evolved or developed. It doesn't really matter what we're using. But if we're talking about a human, saying it evolved doesn't quite sound right, because that would mean something else if a human evolved in some way. So the only one I'm a little bit confused about there, yeah, would be letter D. I think revised sounds okay. But anyway, let's move on to the next exercise. So just a few useful expressions here with the word change, right? And let's see if we can get them. And then again, I'll check the answers to see if I've got them right. But I think, yeah, I think I can get these. Okay, let's have a look. She'd always been against the proposed supermarket, but she soon changed her when she realised what they would pay for her land. Right, so they wanted to build a supermarket on her field or whatever, on her property. Yeah, she soon changed her... Well, I think there's a couple of things you could say here, but yeah, she soon changed her mind. Possibly you could say she changed her tune. That's another expression. No, her attitude, her opinion changed, you know. She was always against it, but she changed her tune when she found out what they would pay. Yeah. So maybe tune, maybe mind. I'm going to put mind. I'm not sure what else it could be, really, if there's any other option. Okay. B. That Italian restaurant is nowhere near as good since it changed. Okay, so I think what we mean to say here is since the owners changed. No, since it changed, since it came under the management of another entity or person or group of people, since it changed hands, I think is what we're going to say here. I guess we'll find out. Since it changed hands, yeah, since it moved on to new owners, basically. He's so untidy. If he wants to live here, he's going to have to change his... yeah, I think he's going to have to change his behaviour. He's going to have to change his ways, is what we say. I'm fairly sure of that, but we'll find out again. Okay, in letter D... When I first met him, I didn't like him, but now I've changed my... Well, I think I've changed my mind again. I've changed my mind, yeah. So I've changed my tune, changed my mind. I'm not really sure. With A, maybe it's more like changing your tune because she was always against something and then she changed... what she was saying, how she was expressing herself about the same topic. So maybe in A changed her tune, and maybe in D, now I've changed my mind. Because it's more like your opinion. D is more like the opinion perhaps, and then A is more like what you're saying. The tune that's coming out of you. So maybe it's tune in A and mind in D. Okay, E. I wouldn't change with him for the world. So I think the idea here is that I wouldn't like to be in his situation. No, so I wouldn't change places with him for the world. Maybe? No? Without context, it's a little bit difficult to be sure of the answers. I wouldn't change places, I think I would say. F, she took a change in her suitcase as they were staying overnight. So, as they were staying overnight, what's the typical thing that you would take with you? You would take a change of clothes, I think. No? Yeah, can't think of anything else. A change of clothes. Unless it's a specific thing. Change of underwear, maybe. Anyway, G. Let's change the... or we'll end up arguing again. Yeah, so when people are disagreeing about something, they say, let's change the subject. Okay, let's find out if I've got them right. And if I am not mistaken, I believe I have got them all right. Changed her tune, changed hands, change his ways, change my mind, change places, change of clothes, and change the subject. There you go, what can I say? There will be a members video coming out tonight. I promised one on Monday, I never got round to it, had too much work to do. Tonight there is one already being made, so it will be coming out tonight. I'll be correcting some writings, and before I get to the writings I'll be answering a couple of questions that I've had about other videos and other topics, questions that I've got from the exclusive members of the channel. If that's something you might be interested in, click on the blue button below this video and have a look at the payment options and influence the content on this channel to make it more personal to you. Okay, I think that's enough of my begging for today. Goodbye.